You ever have a night so wrong it split your life in two? That night started with the crash of wood and metal, my wife's scream cutting through the dark, and a man with a crowbar thinking he could threaten my family. He was about to learn otherwise. I thought moving my family to a quiet Texas ranch would give us peace, a little breathing room from the chaos of city life. But I was dead wrong. The sun had barely set when a rumble of tires on gravel shattered the calm, and I knew immediately trouble had arrived. My name is Jack Carter, and that night changed everything. The ranch had always been our sanctuary. Sprawling land, rustic barns, fences weathered by time, the smell of earth and sweat, the quiet broken only by animals or the wind through the trees. Laura, my wife, was inside with Emma and Luke, our kids, finishing up chores, unaware of what was barreling toward us. I was checking the livestock, the evening ritual, when I saw the first black SUV tear down the driveway, dust kicking up behind it. Then another and another, for them in all, tires crunching gravel, headlights slicing through the gathering dusk. I froze, feeling the weight of instinct settle in. 12 polished shoes stepped out of the vehicles, 11 high heels and one Italian loafer, the people behind them moving with the precision of rehearsed intimidation. Their clothing screamed wealth and arrogance. Fuchsia suits reflecting in the SUV windows, clipboards clutched like shields, smart devices in hand ready to record or report. The tallest of them stepped forward, a woman with impossible hair and a posture made for boardrooms, not ranch's Vivian Blackwood, president of the Willowbrook HOA, had arrived to deliver her message. She glared at me, arms on her hips, voice sharp as broken glass. Mr. Carter, you are in violation of every community's standard, effective immediately. Leave your property. I didn't flinch. Instead, I wiped my hands slowly on an old rag, letting the silence stretch. My scars ran from knuckles to elbow, souvenirs of battles far removed from lawns and spreadsheets, and I made sure they were visible. One glance and I could see in her eyes a flicker of hesitation, the first crack in her confidence. The squad behind her shuffled, whispering, gripping clipboards, unsure. My old shepherd, Rex, growled softly from the edge of the barn, tail low, eyes tracking each movement. I finally spoke, voice calm but measured. You see quiet and think it means weak. That's a mistake. Vivian's smile faltered. She rattled off complaints, fines, legal actions, trying to regain control, but her words were hollow. I let them stew in uncertainty, my hand resting lightly on my shotgun propped against the truck. The metals on my chest caught the last rays of sun, and I could see the shift in their posture. Fear, respect, confusion, all tangled together. The night escalated as Todd Kensington, another HOA board member, approached, crowbar in hand, voice loud and hateful, screaming we didn't belong. Laura grabbed the kids, shaking, eyes wide. I stepped forward, putting myself between my family and the intruder. Todd lunged, a blur of anger and entitlement. Time didn't slow, it accelerated. I drew my pistol, one shot, the blast echoing through the house. Todd staggered back, blood soaking his shirt. But even then he smiled, a sick, triumphant grin. The sirens wailed, red and blue lights flashing through the windows, and intruders retreated, the lesson delivered. After the adrenaline faded, I checked on Laura, Emma, and Luke, holding them close, realizing the full weight of what we had faced. That night, our ranch became more than a home. It became a battlefield and a sanctuary. Over the following days, I reinforced the fences, checked locks, and ensured that every detail was secure. The HOA tried to send letters, threats, legal notices, but they all fell flat. News of the incident quietly spread through the neighborhood. Whispers of the man who didn't flinch, who protected his family with calm and precision, became stories of respect. I walked the ranch every morning, rifle slung over my shoulder, medals catching sunlight, reminders of experience and lessons earned. Laura and the kids adjusted slowly, the fear fading, replaced with a quiet sense of security. The animals, too, sense of restored peace, the barn and field returning to their rhythm. Every step on the gravel, every creak of the barn doors, every rustle of grass and wind reminded me that vigilance is as much a part of life as routine. The threat had passed, but the lesson endured. Courage isn't loud or reckless. It's measured, deliberate, and precise. That night taught again in ways that paperwork and regulations never could. Weeks later, the HOA backed down, realizing that intimidation meets its match in experience and resolve. I still patrol the land each dawn, scanning the horizon, eyes trained, muscles taut, not for the thrill, but for the quiet assurance that my family is safe. Rex trots beside me, the early sun glinting off his fur, ears alert, a silent sentinel. Laura attends to the gardens, Emma and Luke play near the barns, laughter filling the air, a stark contrast to the night that could have ended in disaster. And though the memory lingers, the ranch has returned to its rhythm, each day a testament to preparation, courage, and the instinct to protect. Stories circulate now about that night, neighbors whispering of the man who held his ground, who didn't flinch, who defended his home and family with quiet authority. It's strange what sticks with you. The sound of splintering wood, the sight of a gleaming crowbar, the feeling of a child's hand in yours, trembling but trusting. Every glance at my medals, every crease of scar, reminds me of the life we've lived, the lessons learned, and the price of peace. I make my rounds, checking fences, doors, livestock, each task deliberate, slow, mindful. Experience teaches patience, observation, and timing. The ranch, once quiet and serene, now hums with subtle tension, a rhythm that promises safety and warns against complacency. At night, when the wind rustles through the trees and the moon casts silver across the fields, I sit on the porch, coffee in hand, watching over my family. The memory of that night remains sharp, a reminder of what's at stake. Preparation meets opportunity. Courage meets danger, and calm meets chaos. The HOA learned it the hard way. We learned it the hard way, too. But we endured, stronger and more vigilant. And now, every sunrise over the Texas plains carries with a quiet triumph, the knowledge that when threat comes, we meet it with measured resolve. The ranch isn't just land. It's home, refuge, and shield. And as long as I stand here, my family will remain safe. The story of that night, of the intruder, the crowbar, the fear and courage, will stay with us forever, a reminder of the thin line between peace and chaos. It's a line I now walk with eyes wide open, awareness honed, instinct sharp, ready for anything. Because some nights change everything, and this night, above all, showed that courage, experience, and love for family are more powerful than any threat that dares to cross the threshold.